Hey guys, Logan here, and welcome to my Liam Neeson series. I'm going to be covering every Liam Neeson film leading up to The Commuter, which comes out on January 12th of next year. I already covered Taken, and now we're moving on to Unknown. Now, unlike my review for Taken, this one is going to contain minor spoilers, some of them. So, you're okay if you have watched this movie, but if you hadn't watched this movie, I pretty much recommend you watch it first and then come back and watch this review. Nonetheless, this review is going to contain some minor spoilers, so don't worry about it. This movie came out in 2011, and it's about a man named Dr. Martin Harris and his wife arrive at an airport heading their way to a hotel. And Martin Harris forgot one suitcase that pretty much holds a secret that he didn't know of until later on in the film. And he's trying to find it, and then he was caught in a car accident with this woman played by Deanne Kruger, whose character's name is Gina. And he awoke from his 3-day-long coma from the car accident he was in, and he has started to have amnesia. He lost all of his memories and of his past and all that stuff, and he's trying to find his wife, who he thought was looking for him. But something different has happened that he did not expect. His wife didn't recognize him, and she pretty much seemed to have married this other man who pretty much has the same name that Liam Neeson's character has. And Liam Neeson's character, Martin Harris, was very confused and was like, what is going on? Why is this happening? And all that stuff. And he's trying to find answers, and he was seeking help from Deanne Kruger's character, Gina. Now again, unlike all the 3 Taken movies and Non-Stop, this is one of the fewest movies Liam Neeson starred in that I have not watched before, or at least that I don't recall seeing it. This was my first time watching Unknown, from what I can remember. So after watching it for the very first time, let me tell you, I think this movie was above average. It's not a great movie by any means, but it's also not a terrible movie by any means as well. The story of this movie was pretty promising, I will say. It was pretty decent about this doctor. He's not really a doctor, but he's pretty much Dr. Martin Harris. He pretty much had a difficult time throughout the entire film with knowing who he is, because of unknown identity that he was dealing with in the second and third act of the movie. The first act is pretty much a build-up to the second and third act, and do I have a problem with it? Not really. I don't. But I can see people being bored at certain parts of the movie, which I will not lie, I was bored at some portions of the movie. And it had something to do with this movie's pacing being draggy at times. Just scenes that don't really need to be in the movie. But otherwise, this movie is nearly 2 hours long. And it just kind of felt, at some parts of the movie, like it's 2.5 hours long. So anyway, let's talk about the positives a lot more. Liam Neeson, as usual, was fantastic. I like his character, Dr. Martin Harris. He was pretty much the guy that you can pretty see yourself like attaching to, and you can really see yourself being in that same situation. Well, like what? If you ever got caught in a car accident that caused you to have amnesia. Deanne Kruger as Gina. I think she's pretty underrated in this film. I don't know if a lot of people hadn't really talked about her enough or even praised about her enough, but either way, I think she's pretty underrated. She gave one of the most underrated performances in the entire film. And the other casting choices of a few actors and actresses, for the most part, were pretty okay. Now, I will say, the casting was pretty decent. I don't know much about any of those actors and actresses. I just only know Liam Neeson. He's pretty much, like I said, the best part of the movie. Let me say this. If Liam Neeson was not in this movie, I would not be impressed by this film. In fact, I wouldn't even like this film and not even do a review in my Liam Neeson series. But luckily, he was in this movie, and that's a good sign. If you have Liam Neeson in your film, trust me, I will watch it. But anyway, I gotta go back to more positives. The action scenes, or the action sequences, were pretty solid. They're not like on that Taken one action scene level, but I will say the action sequences were pretty good. And the director for this movie, who years later directed three other Liam Neeson films, including The Commuter, did a pretty good job at directing this film. His directing was above average, I will say. He has a pretty clever idea of how to do this movie, or do the story for this movie, and it was pretty solid. I don't know if he has written the story. He probably hadn't. He probably had a few other people do the writing for this film. Nonetheless, he did a good job at directing this film. The cinematography, for the most part, looked pretty okay. I will say there were certain scenes where the cinematography kind of looked a little bit murky in the blue color scheme of it. Just a murky blue color scheme that I pretty much noticed in this entire film. Even the poster and the wallpapers for this movie look pretty bluish and greenish to me. So anyway, I will say there's a plot twist, and I don't know if I want to spoil it for you. If you hadn't seen it, or if I wanted to spoil it. But either way, it had something to do with Martin Harris. Yep. I will say the plot twist in that scene looked pretty good. Martin Harris learns the truth about himself, learning about his name and what he was and what his occupation was, and all that stuff, and what he does, and pretty much a lot of other things that his character pretty much learns about his past that he did not know of. And I will say, that plot twist, while interesting, was also kind of predictable. I kind of saw some of this plot twist coming. I mean, there were like a couple of hints in this movie that showed that this character, Martin Harris, might not be the Martin Harris that this movie portrays him to be, and all that stuff, especially in the first and second act of the movie. Mostly the second act. So yeah, the plot twist, like I said, while pretty predictable, also was interesting, I will say. So we get to the climax of this movie, as most people would call it, climax, the ending of the movie. We get a final fight scene between Liam Neeson and the guy who has the same name as Liam Neeson's character has. And this fight scene took place after the failed assassination attempt on one of the Middle Eastern leaders of some Middle Eastern countries and all that stuff. So, and that one line that Liam Neeson gave after this bad guy said, "You don't remember anything, do you?" or something like that. Liam Neeson said,
"I didn't forget everything. I remember how to kill you, asshole."
That was a great line delivery, I will say. How awesome is that? So Liam Neeson and Diane Kruger beat the bad guys, and they go on to have new identities, surprisingly. Going like, well, hello, new person. Oh, hello, new person, or... So anyway, guys, like I said earlier, this was neither a terrible film nor a great film by any means. It was pretty much a decent movie. And this was the first and not last collaboration between Liam Neeson and this film's director. There are a few more of the films between the two that we will review soon. So like I said, the casting was decent. Liam Neeson was the best part of the entire film. Diane Kruger was pretty underrated in my opinion. The action scenes were pretty solid. The cinematography kind of looked murky, but still okay. And the plot twist I already talked about, while predictable, was also interesting. And the story overall was kind of above average. It was pretty decent as well. This was pretty much a decent movie, if I could really describe it as. It was decent. I'm going to give Unknown a Silver Medal of Honor. Anyway guys, that is my review for Unknown. My next review in my Liam Neeson series is going to be for The Grey. No, not the 50 Shades of Grey. The Grey, starring Liam Neeson. I'm going to upload that review next week. So anyway guys, like I said, that is my review for Unknown. If you guys enjoyed my review, please click the like button, and if you have already watched Unknown, comment down below to let me know what you think of it. Did you like it? Did you thought it was okay? Or did you not like it? And if you enjoyed what you've seen here and you want to see future videos from me, please click the subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so that you never miss a video. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great week, Battle Squad, and as always, fight the good fight. Peace!